future of esports is looking more solid than ever. Earlier this month, Activision Blizzard acquired Major League Gaming for an estimated $46 million. Now, this is a relatively small number for the publishing giant that could have a massive payoff in the future. The buy was made with esports in mind, and Newzoo has already predicted that esports revenues could hit the $765 million mark by 2018. That's a nice increase over the $278 million that it was estimated at last year. Now keep in mind, these are numbers that were done in September, and it's looking like the growth of esports could be even larger than that. And another thing that's interesting is that acquiring MLG was a huge step towards Activision Blizzard's goal to create the ESPN of esports. But it looks like someone already beat them to the punch, and that's ESPN themselves. Earlier this week, ESPN launched their own dedicated esports section on their website ESPN.com. They also launched their own Twitter at ESPN_esports and a new Facebook at /ESPN esports. It's nice to see them taking esports so seriously, especially after some of the comments that their own president, John Skipper, has made. Last year, he was quoted saying that esports was not a real sport, it was a competition. That chess was a competition, checkers was a competition, and mostly, he was interested in doing real sports. And he was not the only person there that had a negative opinion on esports at that time. Former ESPN host Colin Cowherd said if he was ever asked to cover guys playing video games, he would retire. Now, he's no longer with ESPN, but that has not stopped him from speaking out against esports. A few months ago, he said that he was not a friend of esports, that like professional wrestling, it was for booger eaters. And those are some of the nicer comments that he's had to make about the subject. So it'll be interesting to see how their community and their staff react to this change. But regardless of how anyone feels about esports, there's no denying that it is a booming industry that everyone is trying to be a part of. It'll be really interesting to see how all of the news that's already happened and the stuff that keeps pouring in. It seems like every week someone's creating a new thing for their game, some kind of new division. And it'll be interesting to see how all of these changes shape the landscape of esports in the future. And that's going to wrap things up for this video. So what do you guys think about ESPN getting involved in esports? Is it a sport? Is it not a sport? Is it something you'll watch? Or do you prefer to keep your kind of tournament coverage on sites like Twitch and YouTube? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.